baby fever versus wedding fever versus house fever, rank your order. I think my student loans are one of the best things that ever happened to me. It showed me that I can do hard things because paying off debt is hard. Something I really need to work on is jealousy and comparison, and how much it's really time to let that go. So hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Let's do a little cozy Q&A. I'm so excited, and I also want to say welcome to Vlogmas episode 10. 10 out of 12 days are done, and I'm sad about it. I'm really sad. I've had so much fun sharing the 12 days of Vlogmas with you guys. I know it's not over yet, but I really hope you've been enjoying the series, and if you haven't had a chance to catch up on everything, there are 9 other videos plus 2 more to come. So whenever you're watching this, if it's over your holiday break or even into the new year, there's a bunch of like cozy vlogs waiting for you. So I'm fixing my hair because you guys, I used my rollers again today, and my hair just doesn't, whatever I do, it feels like my hair just doesn't hold. I'm trying to get that 90s blowout look, and I'm getting there, but like we're not there yet. And my hair was so voluminous and like flippy. The ends were like perfectly flippy, and then just after a few hours it just falls. So that's disappointing. If this is the first Q&A of mine that you're watching, strap in. We're gonna be here for a while. I love to make long, chatty, oversharing, rambling, super honest, and also cozy Q&As. I just feel like these are the best videos where I get to answer your questions, and they end up leading into pretty like deep and heartfelt conversations, just being super, super honest, and hopefully feels like a FaceTime with your bestie. If anyone is new, my name's Zoe, I'm 28, and you should totally subscribe to my channel. Whether or not you're new, please like the video. I don't think I've said that throughout Vlogmas, but I know, funnily enough, like my Q&As are some of my most watched videos, which is so funny. I'm like, I just gotta do these more and get the views up on my channel. I just made like a maple tea. It is so warm and comforting. And if I sound congested, it's because I am. I explained in yesterday's Vlogmas that I've been a little bit sick. Who hasn't? I feel like everyone's sick right now, but we're just plugging along. Now, to set the scene, gray, rainy day, check. Gorgeous Christmas tree, fake fireplace, check. So we're all safe and cozy inside, and it's just gonna be so nice. In terms of, let's check our like holiday spirit meter. How are you guys feeling? We're getting close to Christmas. I'm not ready. I'm so not ready. I tried to go Christmas shopping yesterday. You guys saw it in the vlog, and I like lost patience really not that long into the shopping experience. Ended up coming home. I didn't get this on the vlog, but ended up coming home and just blasting out some online shopping, which is like definitely not as fun and definitely not as festive. And I'm just hoping everything arrives in time. But that's where I'm currently at on the holiday cheermeister scale. Let me know what you guys are up to or how you're feeling. I'm gonna put my phone on Do Not Disturb and open up all of the questions that I screenshotted. You guys always ask the best questions, which is why it leads into like such long, rambly discussions. The giveaway for today is a really, really good one. I am going to be giving away a pair. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you. It's gonna be hidden in the video, so you guys just have to watch and you will see. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of go through, and I'm gonna pick my first question. We're gonna start with a question from Jenna Hong. If you guys watch her, I just like always get starstruck when she interacts with me. I'm like, hey Jenna. She asked, what is my word of 2025? I don't know yet, but I did see this question in advance, and so I kind of gave it some thought this morning. Let me start by saying that I'm not really in New Year's mode yet. I'm still in like wrapping up 2024 mode. I don't know how people like already know their goals and stuff. I'm just like, what? Like we haven't even had Christmas yet. Like what? I become very reflective and like oriented towards change at this time of year, but not so much, I don't know, not in the way of like thinking of concrete goals. I'm just like, how can I make my life better? And it's like very dramatic. I definitely lean on the downtime kind of around just before Christmas and then to New Year's, like let's say from the 22nd of December to January 1st, like I really lean on that as my downtime and like time for reflection and stuff. But to answer this question, I did give it some thought this morning, and I feel like my word of the year for 2025 should be gratitude. It's funny because I don't know if I set a word of the year last year, and if I did, I don't remember it. So I don't know how, meaningful like this one single word is to me, like in this sort of habit of setting a word for the year. But I was thinking that gratitude could be a good one because I honestly feel like I spent a lot of time in 2024 just kind of feeling sorry for myself. 2024, like each year I progressively love my life more, and I'm very grateful for that. I work really hard, and I've worked really hard to cut things out and bring things in, and I'm just kind of curating this life that I love and really slowly just building my dream life. But there were still some moments, like I had a lot of just tricky things in 2024, a lot of career changes and question marks, and that led me to a lot of time just kind of feeling sorry for myself. And rather than looking at all the beautiful things in my life, I was looking at what I didn't have, and I was comparing, I made more money in 2023 than 2024, and panicking about that rather than analyzing the good and feeling grateful for, I made less money this year, but I cried a lot less. I had way fewer like panic moments, experienced a lot less anxiety, felt so much happier, had really great memories where I was actually present in those memories. And when you actually think about it, like all of that is worth more than money. So I really want to keep moving away from just this obsessive mindset that I have with money. And it's like not fun to admit that, like it's not I'm not proud of having that character trait. But I feel like when it comes to anxiety, when it comes to feelings of lack, gratitude is the answer. And so if I make gratitude my year of the word for 2025, then as long as I'm grateful for whatever I have, for whatever's in front of me, for whatever I'm experiencing, everything else can just fall into place, and everything else is just icing on top. Told you we're gonna get deep quickly. Dara K. Hill, your ins and outs for 2025. Again, I don't know yet, but something I really need to work on is jealousy and comparison. This is something I've struggled with seriously my whole life, and I'm just starting to realize like how much it truly takes away from my own personal joy and how much it's really time to let that shit go. So jealousy and comparison need to be out in 2025. And again, like gratitude, self-acceptance need to come in. I got a lot of questions about like engagement and wedding stuff, but we'll save that for a little bit. Here's a really good question on like a money topic, but also on comparison and jealousy. This is jealousy. Okay. Jealousy. This is from Eliza. How to be on your own financial journey without envying friends more privileged than you. I know you talked about feeling that way in college. More insight would be great. So, fantastic question. Just to give a little backstory for those who don't know what I'm talking about. When I was in university, I was tight on money. I think a lot of students feel that way. My parents helped me out as best as they can for my first year of university, but I insisted on moving away for school, going to school in a different province, which obviously increases all of the costs of going to university. I know that I'm still super privileged that my parents even helped me out that first year, but that was not the way that I thought back then. I was just jealous that other people's parents were paying their entire way through university. I had to work part-time in order to help pay my rent and pay for my textbooks and basically just pay for whatever I could to keep my student debt as low as possible, or to take from my student loans as little as possible. So I was really envious of people who didn't have to work, whose parents were, providing them with an opportunity to just purely be a student, and whose parents were paying their rent for them and their tuition. And I used to feel so hard on myself, and I was like, well, my grades aren't that great, but it's because like so-and-so's parents pays their rent, and like if my parents paid my rent, like I wouldn't have this problem. And it's like, why don't you shut up? Maybe it's true. Like, of course, if you don't have to have a part-time job. You might be able to just spend all your time studying and get better grades. But you also might spend more of your time effing around, because sometimes the more you have on your plate, the harder you have to work, the more you're organized. So I was just using my jealousy as a way to make excuses for myself, to feel sorry for myself, and that is not a vibe. Learning from that, going on my debt repayment journey, and actually being so glad I had debt. Like, I think my student loans are one of the best things that ever happened to me, because it taught me the value of hard work, the value of my degree, and it showed me that I can do hard things, because paying off debt is hard. I had about $40,000 of student loan debt. I paid it off quite quickly, and that just gave me a sense of confidence and a sense of pride that I never, ever, ever would have experienced had my parents been wealthier and helped me out throughout university. So learning that has made me a lot less envious now of just comparing myself to other people, because I know that we're on the journeys that we're meant to be on, as like cheesy and annoying as that is. That being said, something that I do still struggle with comparing myself to is just people my age who make more than me, regardless of what their parents, do or have or gave them, like really leaving, upbringing out of it. Just looking at people who, like, sometimes I'm like, oh, I should have been a software engineer, and I look at people who have that job and who are making great money. I even look at like my former, what my former life could have been like as a consultant had I stayed in consulting, and I'm jealous that those people liked the job. So I still struggle with that comparison, but it's a lot better just knowing that we really are all on our own path. I also think, and maybe this is like a hot take, but you need to cut people out of your life who, if they're doing stuff to make you feel extra jealous. When I started my career at the Big Four, and I was working with a lot of people who just came from like these wealthy backgrounds, and I remember we had just graduated university and started our careers, and these people were all talking about how their parents were giving them money for down payments, and like they were just like not people that, they were very bragging, okay? Every time I hung out with them, I would feel bad about myself, and I would compare, where I'm at, why I still have debt. I'm not even thinking about buying a condo, and these people, have no debt, and now their parents are helping them buy a condo. It's obviously hard when they're your colleagues, but you need to spend as little time as possible with people who are like that. I have friends in my life who come from very privileged upbringings, whose parents have helped them out a lot, and they're just kind, hardworking people who I love, that I don't even feel jealous, I don't even feel comparison, because they just don't make me feel that way. So if people in your life are making you feel like shit, goodbye. Get rid of them. Leave them in 2024. But to give you more concrete advice aside from getting rid of your friends, you need to know that you really, really, really are on your own journey, as annoying as it is. As long as you need to put your blinders on, know that you are doing everything in your power to make the most out of your financial journey, whether that's paying off debt, building wealth, saving for a specific goal. Do what you can, and you cannot control the rest. You cannot control that other people might get places faster than you. You just can't. You only can focus on yourself. And just know that when you get to your goal, you're gonna feel so proud of yourself. You're gonna be so glad that you stuck through and that you did it. And all of that comparison, it just won't matter in the end. Gotta take my own advice. From Jennifer, tips on how we can find our passions while being confined to a 9-to-5 that makes us tired. Oh my goodness. So I think your passions should give you energy. I know I feel like I'm saying the same thing every question. Like, I know that's annoying, but I'm really passionate about teaching barre and teaching Pilates. For anyone who doesn't know, that is kind of my side hustle. And even though I'm quite busy with YouTube, I'm busy with my freelance copywriting contract, teaching barre makes me so excited, and same with teaching Pilates, that it gives me energy to go and do it. If you love something, it should give you energy and make you want to get out there and do it. I know that if your passion is like needlepoint, that might not make you wake up and spring out of bed in the morning, but if you can find passions that have some kind of time constraint, so let's say you don't know what your passion, wait, what was the question? Yeah, how you can find your passion. Okay, so Listen, maybe your passion is going to be Pilates, okay? Schedule a Pilates class at 7 in the morning that forces you to get out of bed even if you're tired. Go to a place where they're going to charge you even if you don't show up. You may find that you're passionate about Pilates. You may find that you're just passionate about movement. You may find that you're just passionate about getting out of bed in the morning. And of course, it doesn't have to be Pilates. It could be yoga, boxing. I really think movement of some kind, we all have something that we can fall in love with. That is something that we can be passionate about, and it gets us out of bed, out of the house. Anything that you can put on the schedule is fantastic. Along that same note, you can check out what is available in your community and sign up for a class of any sort, maybe pottery, knitting, dance, anything where you have to show up, I think is going to give you extra energy after you're feeling tired from your 9 to 5. Let's say you sign up for a ceramic class at your local community center and you have to be there at 6 p.m. every Wednesday. Even though you're tired, you finish work at 5, you're like, okay, let's go. I gotta get dinner, I gotta get to my pottery class. And you may discover that you're super talented and really good at making bowls. I feel like sometimes we wait for a passion to slap us in the face, or we think that if we watch like one YouTube video or one masterclass or whatever, then we're gonna discover our passion. But I think it really takes more than that, especially when you're feeling tired. You gotta have that thing on the calendar. You gotta have something that you're really committing to. And also just really focusing on something. I feel like sometimes we wanna get into a new hobby, but we're doing it with like the TV on in the background, and then it just ends up being overstimulating and we feel even more drained. Go all in on something and really focus on it and leave other distractions. Put your phone away. That's how you're gonna find something that you really love, is when you kind of cut out the extra noise as well. So to recap, put it on the schedule and turn off the additional noise, AKA this. Without fail, best advice on dealing with friendship breakups. Friendship breakups are so hard. I've had a handful throughout my life, and I feel like I'm almost coming like full circle on some of them. I feel like there is breakups where like you actually are mad at each other and then maybe things end in a fight, and then there's just drifting apart. I've more so experienced drifting apart than like an actual like, you're not going to be my friend anymore. Either way, it's really hard and it's heartbreaking, and I find in some ways it can almost be like harder than a romantic breakup, because you know, you only have like one romantic partner. But a friendship, you have multiple, right? And so, I don't know, the same way that when you're dating someone, you can picture a life with them, when you're having a really close friendship, you also picture a life with them, and you picture future travels, and you picture perhaps your kids being friends, and you picture being little old ladies together. Like you do picture this long term, and you also, when the friendship drifts apart, you end up mourning all of your previous memories. I had one really big friendship kind of breakup or drifting apart that I still feel sad about to this day. I still think about this person. But lately, and what I mean by when I said like things are starting to come full circle, is just because it's over doesn't mean it's really over. Katy Perry. The good thing about friendship breakups versus a romantic breakup is there is room. You never know. There is room for people to come back into your life. It's like kind of awkward to talk about because like I never know who could see my videos, but I don't think she'll mind me saying this. I had a friend I was so close with in high school. We kind of drifted apart, and lately, like literally 10 years later, we've gotten back in touch, and like it just, a little piece of your heart kind of clicks back together, getting back in touch with this person. And when you're young, you think like, oh my God, if we don't talk for 10 years, like you're like, it's over. Like, who even are you? But you realize that things change so much in 10 years, and also everything still stays the same. Like you're still the same person, and you can reconnect with people. Life happens and life gets in the way, and you kind of just have to roll through it. In other situations, the friendship breakup is for the best. Maybe this person was not respectful towards you. Maybe this person hurt your feelings one too many times. And maybe it is really time to just cut that person off and move away from them. Just like a romantic breakup, you have to remember that this is happening for the best, and not just remember all of the good times with that person, but remember why you're maybe not friends with them anymore. If there's no strong reason why you're not friends with them, just send them love, wish them with love, and you never know when they might come back into your life. Everything happens for a reason, and I think it's the same with friendship breakups or drifting apart. But I understand that it is hard, and it's just something, I think it's something that we all go through. From Marie, where in Canada do you want to travel? I would love to go, I feel like everywhere in Canada. I definitely want to do more of the West. Like I've been to Vancouver a bunch of times, but I've never been to Victoria. I've never been to Vancouver Island. I've never been skiing out West, and I would love to experience that, whether that's BC or Alberta. But I mean, if I'm just making my dream list, like I want to go in BC and I want to go in Alberta. I'd love to go back to the Banff Canmore area. It's just so beautiful. I feel like there's so much to explore in those two provinces. I don't want to send any shade towards my Saskatchewan, Manitoban friends. If there even are any, make yourself known. I just don't know what's there, but I would love to drive through it. But yeah, otherwise you guys are gonna have to tell me like where do I need to go in Saskatchewan or in Manitoba. I actually have a Quebec road trip planned for the winter time. JS and I are gonna do some winter camping, which I'm so excited for. So I'm gonna be able to explore more of Quebec, kind of going up north. There's so much to see in Quebec. Île-de-la-Madeleine, Gaspésie, like all of that area. I'm seriously just dying to explore it. I've never been to Sandbanks or that area in Ontario, Muskoka. Would love to go there. I've been to New Brunswick, but I'm sure there's way more. Like I've just been to Moncton, like downtown. I feel like there's more that I could see there. Like anywhere that there is, I would love to go. Eastern Canada, Halifax, I've never been, would love to go. I've been to Newfoundland and I would love to go back. It was incredible. Canada's such a beautiful country and there's so much to explore. I feel like right now I don't know why, I just always end up going on vacation in the US and like the American dollar is so bad. Like I just need to stay put in Canada. The thing that's hard is that Canada is so big and spread out. Like we're the second biggest country in the world, second or third. I feel like we're second after Russia, but we might be third after China. I can't remember. But transit within Canada is really rough. Like, you know, in Europe, they have all these trains and speed trains and airfare between cities, but you cannot fly around Canada. Like you can fly a little bit, but like it's still so expensive. And sometimes flying within Canada is the same as like a flight to Europe. Driving is really long and we don't have a very good train system. So it's really challenging to travel within Canada. It's not that affordable unless you're driving, but if you are driving, you need so much time because again, everything is spread out. I feel like a camper van is the way to do it and I would love to experience that. On that same note, this is from Father Vivian. What trips do you have planned for 2025? Nothing yet. However, we are thinking of doing another family trip. This time we'd love to go to Greece. Greece is like such a bucket list destination for me. So if I can go, like that would just be incredible. Spend some time on a boat, just like experience what Greece has to offer. That makes me really excited. However, part of me feels like I can't get too excited just in case it doesn't happen. That's the only thing that I know for now. And I guess in 2025, I know that JS and I are going to be doing like a little Quebec trip. I would love to go skiing in Vermont. That's all that I know so far, but I'm sure some exciting things will come up. Typically what JS and I do when it comes to travel, just for the two of us, is we just watch where the sales are and we'll go to a destination in accordance with that. We'll be like, oh, you know, there's a sale. I would love to go to Brazil. Lately, like Brazil's really been on my radar, I think because there was some really good deals on flights to Brazil. So we just like kind of look at what the deals are and then that's how we ended up going to Hawaii, was because the tickets were so cheap and we're like, okay, let's just go. So we'll see. Alrighty, let's get into some like deeper money questions. This person's username is like a bunch of numbers. Hopefully they're not spamming me, but I don't think they are. I hope this doesn't come out too personal or taken the wrong way. Would you feel the same peace about your financial situation if you were single? So I read this and I have a certain assumption in my head of like what financial situation they're talking about, but maybe they're just talking about my finances in general. I'm interpreting it as my lower income lately and asking if I would feel the same peace about my lower income lately. And like compared to last year, like I'm not claiming to be a low income person. Okay, like let me clarify that. I'm just making less money than I was a year ago and even 2 years ago. So I feel like they're asking would I feel the same peace about that situation if I were single. And I want to say that I do not feel peace about this situation. I feel gratitude that my fixed expenses are lower because I live with my partner, but I don't really feel I'm not at peace, and I'm not like, I'm not happy to be making less money. Like I spoke about at the beginning of the video, like I'm very driven by money, and I still do feel like a fire under my butt to get my income up. Someone's fire alarm is going off. I'm just trying to get my income up by doing work that I love. And I'm able to do that more confidently because I live with my partner and we share expenses, and I have a lower than market rent because he owns the condo and I'm paying rent, which before anyone gets mad, we're gonna talk about that later. I'm so sick of that. But no, I don't really feel peace in that sense. I think if I were single, maybe I would feel, yes, I would feel a little bit more panic, because let's say I lived back at my old place where my expenses were $1,350 a month for rent, plus in the winter, sometimes my hydro bill would go up to like $1,500 a month. But the truth is that I felt financial anxiety back then, even when I was making, I think my highest salary corporate was about $74K annually. Plus I was making a couple $100s a month extra from my YouTube channel at the time. And I still felt financial anxiety then. I still felt really stressed. So I feel like part of me just always has this stress, and I need to learn to get rid of it. When you live with someone else, especially a partner, compared to a roommate, right? Because let's say a roommate, like you guys would each have your own bedrooms, but a partner where you could share, your costs go down. It's not just because my boyfriend owns this condo that my expenses are down. Like my expenses are down, his are way up. If you're in a relationship and you're renting, you know, a single person renting my old apartment cost $1,350, which now it costs way more than that. But at the time, if you were two and you split that in half, like your rent is next to nothing for both of you, right? You have an opportunity to save so much money when you're in a couple. And I remember when I was single, that always drove me crazy. And it was just like this unfortunate fact of life. I know people here in Montreal who, so for you guys to know, Montreal used to be notorious for having really, really cheap rent. I even had a notoriously cheap apartment with Camilla, who's still my best friend, but we were roommates at the time. We had a 3-bedroom apartment split between the two of us. We each paid $450 a month, and that was for our rent and our hydro. That is insane, $450 a month. If we still lived there, that rent would probably be no higher than $1,100 a month. So split in half, $550 a month if we still lived there. So there are people in Montreal who are living in these insanely affordable apartments because Quebec has really strict rules on increasing the rent. It's not like in other places where the landlord can just give you a $300 a month rental increase. It doesn't work like that here. So there are people who've locked in these insanely cheap apartments. And I remember speaking to someone, this was a while ago at the gym. She was moving in with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend lived in like a huge Montreal apartment where I think his rent was like $1,100 a month. So each of them, were paying like $550 a month. Like what? I remember being so jealous of that because it's like so nothing. So yeah, I feel like being in a relationship, living with your partner, like it does kind of give you a bit of a break, but I still don't feel peace about my situation. I just feel gratitude for my lower expenses. That's why a lot of the finance gurus will also say, like, as long as you can live with roommates, like stay living with roommates, because that will also cut your rent quite a bit. It's not as cheap as like living in a 1-bedroom with a partner, but living with roommates is like another way to really cut your expenses. The problem is once you stop having roommates, it's really hard to go back to having roommates. This is a fun question since we're talking about relationships and stuff. Describe what your dream engagement ring looks like if you have one. I feel like I used to love just like that solitaire kind of like big diamond, you know, the Hailey Bieber ring. I still find those super beautiful. I just feel like slowly the trend is going to move away from that, and like I feel like these rings really do kind of go in trends. That being said, if I were to be presented with a ring like that, I would not say no. I would be very happy. JS and I have spoke about like engagement ring design because he's the kind of person where he's like, I don't want you to have what everyone else has. I want you to have something unique. So I'm like, okay, I have had to think about like other looks that I like. And I think I'll put a picture on the screen of like some of the things I have saved on Pinterest, but like a middle stone with like 3 little stones on either side, I think is super, super beautiful and very almost antique looking. I think that looks super good. But I love when the middle stone really is like a focal point. So you have like this big shiny diamond in the middle. I think that's beautiful. Somebody else said, I feel like Jean is gonna propose in 2025. We will see, you guys will see when it happens. Okay, this is a really crazy question, so I'm gonna answer it and then we will get into the giveaway info. I feel like we're, oh my God, 34 minutes. Okay, this is a really crazy question, and if you've been watching this whole time so far, you deserve to know the answer. This is from my friend Michaela. It's such a good question. Baby fever versus wedding fever versus house fever, rank your order. So good and like appropriate that she's asking this because she's my friend and she knows I have the fever of all three of these things. So in terms of like actual fever, like what does my body want? First would be baby, second would be house, and third would be wedding. I know that's like not conventional, but you guys, my baby fever is so strong. My IUD is still in, but like my baby fever is insane. Like I don't know. I don't know if it's, I think part of it's probably like just biological. I've always had really strong baby fever. Like even when I was in university, like I wanted to be a mom. It's just like, I don't know, my hormones or something. I don't know. I also know that it's amplified right now because I watch a lot of content creators who are pregnant or are moms, and I just feel like my age demographic, like it's happening to a lot of people. And I look at that and I'm like, I want that. Like I want that. I love babies. I've always wanted to be a mom, and the only thing that ever squashed my baby fever a little bit is when I got Maggie and she was a puppy and it was so much work. I was like, oh my God, like I don't think I can handle the baby. Now she's older, she's calmer. I've learned so much from being a dog parent that I'm like, baby fever is back. So yeah, that would be like my strongest one. House fever is number two because I am trying to be so grateful for, so rude. But like, no, I am really grateful for this apartment. There's just a lot of things that kind of get under my skin. I would love to have more space, but that's not the biggest thing. The biggest thing is the noise. I get really bothered when I can hear my neighbors. I'm really sensitive to sounds. I've always been this way. I grew up in a semi-detached, so like we shared a wall with our neighbors, and the walls were made of paper in this house that I grew up in. So I've always grown up having to be quiet because my mom was trying to be respectful of our neighbors, but I've also grown up hearing people talking. I've heard people having sex through the wall before I even knew what sex was. I heard that happening through the walls of my bedroom, like as a kid. Like I've heard music, like I've just always shared a wall with someone, and the noises, they get under my skin. They drive me insane. Like I hear my neighbors playing music, I hear them vacuuming, I hear the little kids walking around upstairs, and I try to be patient. Like I don't get mad at them or anything, but I just sit there and I'm like, oh my God, and I wonder what it would be like to have peace and quiet. So house fever for sure. Sometimes JS and I will look at houses and he'll be like, well, what about a townhome? And I'm like, no, like when I move out of this apartment, I cannot share a wall with anyone ever again. Like I just want my own space. So the fever for that is definitely strong. And then wedding fever, I don't know. I go through phases where I'm like, wouldn't it be fun to have a wedding? And I go through phases where I'm like, oh God, just looks expensive and looks like a headache. So I don't know. I feel like when the time comes and I do get engaged, I will get wedding fever. But right now at this very moment, I feel like I would just elope. Like, I don't know. But then I feel like I'd be sad that I didn't have like a wedding. So it's just like it's not that, like I don't have a fever for it. I don't dream of planning a wedding. I like really don't. So for the 10th day of Vlogmas, I am going to be giving away a pair of Kamik winter boots. I'm so excited. I got my new pair of Kamik boots this winter for my winter boots. They're so cute. They're waterproof. They're honestly adorable. They're also very comfortable. And this is a Canadian brand from Montreal. The boots are made in Montreal and they are affordable. So I feel like this is just such an amazing brand. They went through a little bit of a rebrand and I was introduced to them through a PR event. Here's the little story behind this giveaway. I was planning on buying new winter boots this year, ended up receiving these boots as a gift for going to this event, fell in love with the brand and I wanted to give away for Vlogmas a pair of boots because I didn't end up having to buy them. But you guys, the angels working at Bicom PR agency, who I went to this event through, they've actually so generously offered to give away a pair of boots to one of you guys. So one of you guys will win a pair of winter boots, and don't worry, I am reallocating that budget for another giveaway. This giveaway is only going to be open to Canadian residents just because of shipping. So you guys, tell me what your favorite winter activity is, whether it's skiing, snowshoeing, or staying inside and reading a book. I want to know what it is. Let me know in the comments. Then go ahead and fill out the Google form. You will have 48 hours from when this video goes live. I will contact the winner by email. I'm just going to randomly select a winner, and you will be able to choose any pair of boots that is in stock on Kamik's website, and we will ship them to you. So that is so exciting. They have some really cute rain boots, like winterized rain boots. So many cute, short, tall winter boots. You can match with me if you want. I'll put the name of mine on the screen if you guys are interested. Kamik is just such a great brand. I'm so happy to be promoting them and wearing them and supporting them. And I'm so excited for you guys, for one of you guys to get a pair as well. And thank you so much to Kamik and to Bicom Agency for your generosity on this giveaway. All right, let's talk about some Christmas stuff. This is from Isadora. Christmas tradition you want to establish for yourself and future family. I don't know if this is so much of a tradition, but especially when it comes to my future family, I would love to make Christmas just honestly as magical and stress-free as possible. That was not the case for me growing up. Like Christmas was exciting because I feel like it's just exciting for kids in general, but it never felt like so magical. I see videos of parents doing like Elf on the Shelf and doing just these crazy, you know, making gorgeous memories for their kids, and I want to be able to do that. Like I want to do Elf on the Shelf, and I want them to have their own custom stocking, and I want the moment that we put the star on the tree to feel special. Like I really want all of those cringy Hallmark memories with my family. I feel like I'm starting to build that for myself, and I'm like trying to get JS on board. On Christmas Day together, a little tradition that we've already started is spending just the time alone, the two of us, making sure we have a moment alone. We don't do our gift exchange in front of anyone else. We just keep it to ourselves, and we make sure to have a little pocket of peace, I guess, just for the two of us. And then one day that will also include hopefully like 20 kids. And that's already starting now because both of us have chaotic families. My parents are separated, his parents are separated. Like it couldn't get more complicated. And so we're just working on finding those moments of peace and having just a little special moment. Like maybe, you know, the whole month of December isn't going to be so festive and so special and so perfect, but you can give yourself just that one little moment, and that makes it super special. Like I already remember, I of course remember last Christmas morning, and it just like, that memory feels like a hug. And so just to create more memories like that. What are you doing on Christmas? So yes, this year, one side of my family is renting a chalet up north of Montreal. So that's going to be super, super nice. It's like very bougie. Well, it feels very bougie. The chalet is not like so crazy fancy, but it just, the word chalet feels very bougie. So we'll be spending some time there. My dad should be there. My stepmom will be there. And my brother will be there. My sister's gonna come up and back. My siblings and I, we all have different moms, same dad. So that just makes things complicated. And so JS will be coming with me. We're gonna spend a few days there. Then we're gonna go see his dad in Granby. His mom is in Florida, so we will not be seeing her this holiday season. My mom should be coming up to the chalet as well, hopefully. It's crazy. I'm actually not going to be in Ottawa this holiday Christmas season for the first time actually ever. That's nuts. So I'll be doing that. And then yeah, Christmas night, like Christmas Day evening, we'll be having dinner with JS's dad. And then we're probably going to go skiing on Boxing Day. That's like another little tradition that we've started. What is going on outside? There's like some banging noise. See what I mean? The city, like, what would it be like to just have quiet? I don't know what it would be like because I've always lived in the city and I've always shared a wall with someone. Like, no, but for real, what are they doing? They're gonna make me mad. So those are my Christmas plans and I'm really looking forward to it. I also just can't wait to spend time with my brother and sister, play games, cook, eat food, bake, watch stupid movies, like all of that good stuff. I just can't wait to do it. I can't wait to completely relax. I can't wait to close my laptop and like not open it for a couple days. Like I just can't wait. Okay, on that note from Isadora again, what are your favorite Christmas movies? Love Actually is like my #1 Christmas movie. I find that movie so cute and just, I don't know, it's so fun. I also love Jim Carrey's The Grinch. Those are my top 2 Christmas movies. I can't really think of any other ones. When I was really little, I watched, it's like the short film of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I feel like it was like a claymation. I watched that one all the time. And then there was also either a claymation or cartoon Frosty the Snowman that I loved. Lately, I just watch like all of the cringy movies on Netflix and I swear they get worse. They get worse every year. From Vicky, what was the best TV show you watched this year? I love this question. I feel like there was so much good TV in 2024. I loved Love is Blind was crazy this year. I didn't watch the most recent one because everyone said it was horrible, but the Love is Blind with Jimmy and Chelsea was like crazy. Love is Blind UK was crazy. I really enjoyed watching those shows. I loved Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I like reality TV shows. So Secret Lives of Mormon Wives was good and crazy. I also really loved watching Tell Me Lies. I watched both seasons like just about a month ago and that was a really good show too. So those are kind of my top picks of the year. I'm not a big like TV drama show person. Like I watched Succession, never finished it. Like watched Breaking Bad, never finished it. Any show that is like so has you on the edge of your seat, I don't like to watch because I just either get too addicted and then all I want to do is spend all my time watching TV, which is like not so great for you. And then if it's like Breaking Bad is obviously like, it's like you cannot argue it's an amazing show, high quality, art. But it's so gory and violent. I would watch that before bed and I'd have the worst dreams ever. Like whatever I watch before bed, I will have dreams about. So I need to be really careful. I'm slowly working my way through Yellowstone though. And like, it's both good and bad. But nothing had me the way Tell Me Lies did. And then again, the way just those Netflix reality shows do. I'm currently watching The Ultimatum and it's crazy. Oh my gosh, you guys, I thought I was getting through so many questions, but there's so many. From Jad, something you miss about your hometown. I just miss the peace of Ottawa. I never appreciated that when I lived there and it's so easy to get around. It's just like, I don't know, it feels a lot less chaotic than Montreal does and I miss that. And then the biggest thing I just miss is my family. Like I feel so happy, for the most part, I feel so happy when I'm around my family and I miss that. On the family note, does your mom get upset when you vent about your relationship with her online? She doesn't get upset. I don't feel like I'm venting per se. Like I feel like if I was venting, I would be more like bashful, but I'm trying to talk about it in a way that can be helpful for you guys watching. Anytime I say anything about family dynamics, I wonder if I should exclude it from the vlog. I wonder if I should cut it out. I always try and be as respectful as possible. And like, there's so many things that I leave out. There's so many things I don't say because I just feel like it would cross into venting territory and it would cross into just being inappropriate. But every time I leave it in, people say it's so helpful. And so that's why I do it, despite the fact that it does sort of make me uncomfortable. The fireplace is done. I got the Netflix with ads, so we'll just wait. Social media is a highlight reel and YouTube itself can even be a highlight reel. I grew up watching people who I was convinced that their lives were perfect. I was convinced that they had perfect families and perfect bank accounts and everything was just jolly good, cheerful all the time. And when I started my channel, I wanted to be a place where I could show you guys a real person's life. And that includes some family drama. And unfortunately, in my case, it includes a imperfect but healing relationship with my mother and same with my father. And that's okay. And for so many of you guys, and I know this because you tell me in the comments, for so many of you guys, that is the case as well. And so just sharing tiny little bits helps you. And it also helps me. Like, it's through sharing certain things that I've gotten advice from you guys that has literally helped heal my relationship with my mom. My relationship with her right now is better than it's ever been. And I'm so thankful for that. And part of that has come from just sharing little bits and pieces. There's a lot more. There's a lot more about my childhood that I've never told you guys about, because I don't feel comfortable with it. And like, maybe one day I want to share these things because I know that they can be helpful. I know that that's how we can best learn, is from other people's experiences. But it is hard to find that line between sharing what's yours and sharing what someone else's. And I think that's why, you know, I'm pretty lucky. My parents are very understanding of what I do, because my parents, you know, some people think that certain secrets need to live in the family and that you're supposed to keep family stuff behind a wall, right? And present this perfect facade. I also think that the things that we go through in life, it's a little bit up to us to, if we want to share or not. And obviously we need to be respectful of other people, but certain things that happen to you or that you experience that also include another person, it's not just for that person to say, don't talk about this, because it's like, well, it's my story and maybe I can talk about it if I want to. And of course, again, just always like trying to remain respectful, which I think I do. And my parents respect that certain things are mine to tell, and they respect that I'm not doing it to get views and like, poor me. They respect that I'm doing it in the hopes of finding kindred spirits out there. So no, she doesn't get upset. She also doesn't watch. She doesn't watch on purpose because she feels like this is like my journal, even though it's online. She's never watched anything that I've put out unless I've showed it to her. She's never ever watched from day one, even when all I did was film Aritzia hauls. She's never watched. And that's okay. It doesn't bother me that she doesn't want to watch. It doesn't make her not supportive. She's extremely supportive. And yeah, despite it all, like, I'm really grateful for my mom. I think she's wonderful. And when I filmed my most recent healing diaries video, and I said, you know, I talked about the difficult relationship and I talked about how we're healing it. I knew she wasn't going to see it. So I also sent her a text and just said, I'm so glad that our relationship is on the up and I love you and you mean so much to me. So yeah, no issues there. Let's do just a few more questions. Okay, I said I was gonna talk about like paying rent to my boyfriend. Someone did ask about this. I'm gonna assume she was asking nicely. This is probably one of the things that I get the most hate about. People really dislike that I pay rent to my boyfriend. I just don't understand it. I think it was about a year ago that I explained it, and so now it's been a year, so whatever, I'll explain it again. So this question specifically was thoughts on your partner owning the condo if you will get a place together in the future. So I love that I love that I don't own this condo. I love that I'm not a homeowner right now. I don't feel ready to be a homeowner. I don't want to be a homeowner. It's like so much responsibility and I just don't feel financially ready for that responsibility right now. I wish that we were renting this condo together. I wish he wasn't even the owner, just because I see the stress that it puts on him owning this place. It's so expensive. Interest rates are sky high, even though they're coming down. This place costs him a lot of money. And on top of the mortgage, there's hydro and internet and condo fees, and my rent goes towards all of those things. I think people think, oh my God, you're just paying your boyfriend's mortgage. Like, one, his mortgage is not $700. Like, I wish, I'm sure he wishes. There's condo fees. There's a sauna downstairs. I use that sauna. It's fair that I contribute towards those condo fees, and I contribute towards the electricity and the heating and the Wi-Fi that I use. I also just don't see anything wrong with paying to have a roof over your head. Like, paying rent is not throwing away money. And so basically the money that I give him does not go towards his principal. It doesn't really go towards his investment. It goes to covering the expenses associated with living in this place. However, even if it did go towards his investment, I don't care, because I'm happy for that. I'm happy to contribute towards his investment because I love him and we're in a committed partnership, and I see his gains as also being my gains. Whatever value this condo takes on and increases by is gonna go into the next place that we buy, and I'm gonna benefit from that, right? If I thought he was going to, you know, dump me and just ride off into the sunset with this condo, I wouldn't be in a relationship with him. I wouldn't live with him. Obviously anything can happen, like, and you just never know, but I trust him and I feel like we're working towards a future together. So to me, there's just literally no issues. I think I don't want to like speak out of turn, but like if you're in a relationship where you're calculating everything and you're like, oh, what can I get out of this person? And what is he getting out of me? And like, got to make sure I'm getting stuff from him, like calculated in that sense. You're probably in a relationship with the wrong person, because it should just flow and it should be about balance. And yeah, I don't know, like it's not about getting the most I can out of someone just because he's a man, or, you know, making sure that I can coast and not have to pay anything. I just wouldn't feel comfortable with that. I think it's fair that I contribute to the place that I live, and I've also got a pretty good deal. So there you go. Another question from that same person: favorite no or low spend activities. Here's a new one that I recently discovered, and we discovered it by accident, is that most places, I feel like most cities will have once a month, like on a Sunday or on a specific day of the month, museums will be free. So my friend Michaela and I stumbled across the Fine Arts Museum. It is free here on the first Sunday of every month. So that is a super fun, no spend activity. If you wanted to grab a little coffee or something, then that would just make it a low spend, but that is so great. Just taking a walk, like with your friends or just by yourself, going for a little walk, making a tea or a coffee or a hot chocolate at home, put it in your cutie little to-go cup and hit the road. That is super fun and very no to low spend. If you are a taxpayer, you pay taxes to contribute towards parks and green spaces, so go take advantage of those. You can even get in your car and drive somewhere to go take like a nicer walk or a hike, just enjoying nature. I know it can feel harder in the winter, but if you dress appropriately, like you can still get out and do it. Going to the mall but not spending anything is also really fun. Like I love window shopping, and sometimes it can just scratch that itch. Like if you are like a shopaholic like me, but you want to shop less and not spend money, and if you don't need anything else, like just going and just looking, like don't even to leave your wallet at home, just go walk around the mall with a friend, and like you can make fake outfits and you can look at the clothes but just not buy anything. That's always an option. Another one that's low spend, not exactly no spend, but especially with friends or for a date night, is finding a new recipe. Like if you have cookbooks, I'm sure we all have cookbooks at home that we've barely ever opened or we've barely tried the recipes from. Flip it open. You can either do like cookbook roulette, where you just like flip the pages and land on something and boom, that's what you're making for dinner, or like actually take the time and read it and pick a recipe that you like, and then spend time going and buying the ingredients and cooking it, listening to music, like making it fun. That's a really good one for if you are in a situation where, I used to be in this situation where I was like hanging out with friends was always, let's go for dinner, and it was like always somewhere like bougie and expensive. I'm so over that. It's like, what if instead it's like, come over, let's make a recipe together, or let me cook for you. Sometimes it can be hard, two people cooking at once. So sometimes maybe just inviting your friends over and making a meal for them. And if you're comfortable, you know, you ask them to pitch in for the groceries, especially if it's like something really elaborate, or you have them bring little side dishes. But turn your home into the bougie restaurant that you would otherwise be going to. There are so many fun, affordable ways to hang out. And I also find the more low spend the activity, for the most part, like the better memories you have, you know? You could go out for dinner to the fanciest, bougiest, trendiest place and the music's too loud and you can't even hear your friends. Or you have a great time, but you get the bill at the end and you feel so guilty, and that overshadows all of the amazing conversations that you have. At home, you get to choose the music, you get to choose the volume, you get to choose the recipe, and you're almost like a little bit more guaranteed to have a good time. The only high spend activities that I feel like are super worth it would be like a day skiing, a day at the water park, like a day doing like a really fun activity that will make for really good memories. We actually did that at the water park for Jean's birthday this year, for his 30th birthday, and that was really fun. It was like $60 a person, and then we went for dinner after. So that was like a higher spend activity that led to really good memories, but I'd rather save my money for times like that than just like going to the restaurant or going to grab like a $20 cocktail. Like I said, I'm over that. Okay, you guys, I've been recording for over an hour. We're gonna do one last question, one or two. Okay, here's a good one. What are you grateful for this year? I'm really grateful for, okay, I was gonna say like the sense of peace that I felt, but I also I felt very peaceful in some moments and very not peaceful in others. For the moments I felt peace, I'm very grateful, but I'm gonna give you guys something more tangible. I'm really grateful for the strides that I have taken in learning how to cook and bake and just growing my confidence in the kitchen. That was a deliberate decision that I made this year, and my return on investment has been tenfold already. I love cooking now. I seriously love it. I have so much new confidence. You guys saw I baked bread yesterday. I'm learning so much, and it makes me so happy, and it's such a valuable skill because, like we just talked about, it's something that you can do, you know, for anyone, and you're gonna carry this skill with you for your whole life. Oh my God, why am I getting emotional? I'm such a freak. But you know, one day I'll be able to teach my future kiddos how to cook because no one really taught me how to cook. So I have a long way to go. Like, I'm a really slow chef, so I need to get faster. I need some sharper knives. But I'm really grateful that I've taken the time to start that journey this year. Okay, any last questions that I want to answer? Blah blue. Oh, this was a good one, but I didn't answer it in the main part. Would you ever move to the USA? Like, yes and no. Yes and no. I don't know. It's like, that's a huge question. Boom. Okay, we're done. We're done. We're going to end on that note of gratitude. Here, look, here's a nice question. Wishing you and your loved ones happy holidays. Me too. Me too. That's a wrap, you guys. Thank you so much for watching this Q&A. The tea has gone cold. It's like pretty much empty. Still raining, still gray. Not much has changed. I love you guys so much. If you made it to the end, comment something red. Don't forget to enter the giveaway, and I will see you guys in Vlogmas Day 11. We will be going cross-border shopping. So look, I'll answer that question about living in the States in that video. We're gonna be going cross-border shopping. I'm gonna be going to Burlington, Vermont. It's gonna be so fun. I will see you there. Bye!